Now on CoastTV News.
History made in a historic city. We introduce you to the first female mayor of Lewes.
Jaywalking in Dewey Beach, it now comes at a cost.
And the price to park in Ocean City is changing. We'll tell you what it's now going to cost you.
With the slow-moving storm system we have in place, we're likely to stay in a soggy situation for the next couple of days.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
A new face representing Lewes. Good evening. I'm Christina D. Robertus.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with a historic swearing-in ceremony.
As of this morning, Amy Marasco, now officially Mayor of Lewes. And as CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us, it's the first time a woman will lead the first town in the first state.
A standing ovation for Amy Marasco.
I am very proud and excited, without question, very proud.
Sworn in Wednesday, she's now the first woman in history to serve as mayor of Lewes.
I would say there is no glass ceiling in Lewes, and I think it is important as women and also people of color, when we break through those, we're sending the message to the next generations that you are welcome at this table as well.
Some of her first initiatives include addressing food insecurity and setting up an environmental and resiliency committee. Lewes local and environmentalist Sally Boswell expects the new mayor to be a positive force in the community.
Her ideas for how those open spaces will be managed and protected are very in alignment with my concerns and my interests. So I'll be stepping up to help out wherever I can.
Marasco succeeds Andrew Williams, who did not run for re-election. In this new chapter, civic engagement is also one of her priorities.
We have little problems to work on and big problems, and I need citizens as part of all of that. So I believe it's our job to tee up those to make it easier for citizens to engage.
Marasco will serve the city as mayor for 3 years, where she can then decide whether or not to run for re-election. Reporting in Lewes, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
And some more notes on the new mayor's priorities. Mayor Marasco said she mentioned that the Army Reserve Building project and its potential to become the city's new municipal campus, that's one of her priorities. She says it's a big financial, environmental, and construction project that she wants to tackle. Also, Marasco says she wants to clean up the city code.
Dewey Beach has been working on a few pedestrian improvements ahead of the summer season, and today the town voted to increase the fine for jaywalking. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in the Dewey Beach area in our First Alert Weather Jeep. Brandon, now it's going to cost you if you don't use those crosswalks in town.
Charlie, we are now going through the heart of Dewey Beach, and we're at a stop sign, so it gives you a good view to see the crosswalks in front of us and the bright yellow signs that are already in place here in Dewey Beach. But now the town says if you do not use these crosswalks, it will cost you $50. Coast TV went on a ride with Dewey Beach Commissioner Paul Bauer. He says enforcing this fine will be the only way it sticks.
Went through the expense of doing all this stuff is trying to keep people from coming at you from all angles. But we have to get compliance, and I think the only way you get compliance is you have to have enforcement. And I think that's the final piece here, that we're letting everybody know it's going to get enforced.
Bauer tells Coast TV the main goal of this fine is to keep every driver and pedestrian safe here in Dewey Beach. In the First Alert Weather Jeep in Dewey Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
And this brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how much should a fine for jaywalking be?
Let's see what you guys think. So before we knew that Dewey Beach was going to go with $50 fine, we gave a few other options, but it looks like most people, 47%, say they think it should actually be double that at $100. A few say $10 or $20, but $100 the clear winner here.
And we do have a comment today from a viewer in Selbyville. Bruce says, quote, "There is a reason that we have crosswalks, and especially at the beach, they should be used. A hefty fine will get your attention quickly," unquote. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that, or if you want to leave a comment, go to coasttv.com or use the mobile app.
Well, every year, thousands and thousands of people make their way to Ocean City for a little sun and sand, but this year you can expect to pay more for parking. Starting Friday in the municipal parking lot, the cost will jump to $3.50 an hour, and at the inlet or the ocean blocks near the beach, it's a full dollar more than that at $4.50. The owner of Sunrise Diner right next to the boardwalk expects to hear some grumbling once visitors notice.
I hear it from the customers. People say, like, we come down here and it used to be like you could get a room for $50 a night, but now a room is minimum $200, and then you're paying for parking on top of that.
And daily paid parking fees will run from this coming Friday all the way to Halloween. So if you plan to spend some time at the Ocean City Beach this summer, make sure you've got that parking app handy because it is going to cost you.
We're taking a live look into Rehoboth Beach right now. It has been a gray day, so we need to check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, are we stuck with this for a while, or is it just a passing fancy?
No, it's not a passing fancy. It's going to be what's in. It's going to be in style. Let's call it that, okay? And in fact, you saw kind of the rough waters there in Rehoboth, and we have the rough water's not quite as rough for us in Ocean City, but it's becoming breezy regardless at 16 miles per hour and staying pretty steady with that. Now we are going to stay in the 50s. Now our deal has been the rain today. We've had 3/4 of an inch of rain or close to it in Ocean City as well as Salisbury, an inch actually down on Wallops Island. Rain so far we've had closing in on an inch for us in Stockley at 0.8, and then we had a 6/100, or just over half an inch in Jones Crossroads, Georgetown, Seaford, Laurel, Indian River Inlet. Another list, just over a half an inch for us in Delmar, Dagsmore, and Bethany Beach. Just shy of that in Harbison, just over 1/4 of an inch in Slaughter Beach, and just shy of 1/4 of an inch officially in Lewes. Here's where the rain stands right now. We stay with really just cloudy skies. The bulk of the rain is already pushed on through, and I don't see much redeveloping for later tonight because it's been cloudy and miserable and dreary and drizzly all day long. That actually helped us out, Charlie, but we still have some more rain that's on the way.
Paul, new at 5, 2 teens have been arrested following a Tuesday shooting in Laurel. Delaware State Police say a 14 and 15-year-old allegedly fired shots as a car was driving by in the area of Seaford Road in Laurel. Police say the car wasn't hit and nobody was hurt.
Happening tonight, the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice is working to prevent future hate crime incidents. This comes after the arrests of 2 former Millville volunteer firefighters. They're facing hate crime charges. Organizers say they plan to review what happened in Millville and other hate incidents in Sussex County. We are following this story right now, and we'll take you there live tonight on CoastTV News at 6.
In Dover, a new bill could make financial literacy a high school requirement to graduate. House Bill 203 would require all high schools in Delaware to offer at least a half-credit course in financial literacy. Supporters of the bill claim 87% of American teens say they don't understand their finances. If approved, the course requirement would begin with 9th graders in the 2026 to 2027 school year.
In Lewes, an emergency closure happening to the Savannah Road drawbridge. It starts tonight at midnight. The westbound lane will be closed as crews will be repairing the bridge decking material there. Then at 2 a.m., the bridge will be fully closed. DelDOT says it expects the bridge to reopen by 5 a.m. Thursday morning.
Record-breaking hunting season in Delaware, the historic first made with this year's turkey season.
Slow-moving showers are expected to make a late night and early morning drive a bit tough with drenching downpours.
First, a second tense meeting between Trump and a world leader in the Oval Office. That's up next.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
President Trump holding another tense meeting with a world leader in the Oval Office today, pushing unsubstantiated claims of white genocide in South Africa, a claim South African-born Elon Musk has made and the leader of that country denies.
NBC's Julie Shurkin shows us how this comes as the president tries to find unity within his own party to get his massive multi-trillion-dollar package to push forward his agenda.
An Oval Office meeting today between President Trump and the South African leader going off the rails. The two men meeting to talk trade, but the conversation quickly spiraling into a stunning debate captured by cameras over Trump's claim of white genocide disputed by South African officials.
We have thousands of stories talking about it. Sure. And we have documentaries, we have news stories.
Reporters questioned the president about his controversial decision to admit 59 white Afrikaners into the U.S. as refugees. After claiming they were in danger, President Cyril Ramaphosa repeatedly denied any genocide.
Our government policy is completely against what he was saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture.
That face-to-face coming just before President Trump huddles with Republican House leaders and members of the Conservative Freedom Caucus on his mega spending package. Lawmakers began debating the bill again this morning at 1 a.m. after President Trump pressured Republicans to put down their pens and fund his agenda. But as tax cuts drive up the price tag of the bill, hardline conservatives want more spending cuts.
I want to be very clear. We've got to deliver on what we're talking about, or we're not going to be able to get the bill done.
But the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says as it stands now, the One Big Beautiful bill will add nearly $4 trillion to the deficit over the next decade, an assessment Republicans dispute without evidence. The CBO also says Trump's budget would help the top earners over the next 10 years, while hurting lower-income families. And with those proposed Medicaid cuts, the CBO projects more than 7 million people will lose health insurance. The bill does boost funding for the military and border security.
That was Julie Sirkin. And back to that Oval Office meeting. This is the second jaw-dropping moment between President Trump and a world leader in the Oval Office. The first was, of course, that bitter back and forth with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Well, economic concerns are at the forefront of Americans' minds, and many don't approve of how President Donald Trump is handling it. According to a new Marquette Law School poll, Trump's approval rating is at 42% on the economy. Breaking it down, his approval rating is 37% on tariffs and just 34% on inflation and the cost of living. Overall, 46% of Americans approve of how Trump is handling his presidency, while 54% disapprove.
Here's a look at your Bay forecast. We're looking for another round of rain for Thursday for Cambridge as well as Crisfield. But then we start to dry out slowly going into the weekend. So, the weekend looking better or worse? Details and the answer coming up. Look for at least one more day of rain and gray skies. We're staying a bit drizzly right now in Cambridge at 55 degrees. We'll stay in the 50s with thick cloud cover for the rest of the night. Winds still very active at Indian Beach, Ocean View, Fenwick Island, with a small craft advisory staying in effect until lunchtime tomorrow. That means we're watching out for about 25-mile-per-hour winds. Something that's been added to our plate, a coastal flood advisory, is in effect for Cambridge, Bishop's Head, Taylor's Island. This is talking about the potential of a foot of inundation along those coastal communities, including Deal Island, Nanticoke, and Monty. Now, they also have a small craft advisory in effect there as well. And we have breezy conditions from Ocean City all the way down towards Chincoteague. Right now, most of the precipitation has already hit us and is moving out of the way. And when we begin to kind of tabulate what's happening, we do see a lot of this green here that you see right here, including for Kent as well as up towards Newcastle. That's indicating coastal flooding concerns or possibilities, not inevitability. We're at 55 degrees right now, many locations, including Harrington to Dagsboro to Delmar to Laurel, pretty uniform for the most part. The winds coming off the water, racing at about 31-mile-per-hour gusts, Indian River Inlet, 24-mile-per-hour wind gust in Georgetown. Overnight, we drop down to 57 degrees with showers expected, but we're talking about the scattered variety version, not the heavy downpours. Our storyline for Thursday, coastal low, brief downpour, breezy, onshore flow. Over the weekend, dry, below average showers possible on Memorial Day. We have Thursday through Friday, scattered showers with brief downpours with a chance of a thunderstorm with an influx of moisture coming off of the water with a low pressure system that's going to break off and then swing deeper into the water. But before it really begins to get strong and cause a problem, it'll be too far away from us to cause a significant imprint. but we will have at least a spot shower pushing through. Right around just before lunchtime, look for some strong storms to hit all the beaches from Rehoboth down to Fenwick Island, at least for a brief second for lunchtime, and then another one possibly right after lunchtime, but not sticking around for an extended period of time, and we dry out going into Friday. Thursday, same situation. We see the showers rush through very quickly in the afternoon. Then the rain begins to back off of us. And the amount of rain that we're talking about, not looking impressive. We're talking about a quarter of an inch, half inch, best case scenario. Winds collapsing along the coast for us for Thursday, but for Friday they become more zonal, moving at about 25 miles per hour. So highs will be in the near the 70-degree mark, 72 for Cambridge, and winds out of the northwest will keep a bit of a cool breeze racing through the area. Along the coast, we're looking for showers for tomorrow for just about all of our locations except for Chincoteague, and our storm outlook looking non-severe, best case scenario. 5-day precipitation chance, we'll have a 50% chance nearly on Thursday, and then as we go into next Monday, we'll watch out. So 54 for tonight with showers, mostly cloudy with afternoon rain for us on tomorrow. And then Friday, mostly cloudy with maybe a stray shower. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast.
Delaware broke records for hunting season this year. Denrick says the state set records for both wild turkey and white-tailed deer for the 2024-25 season. This is a historic first in Delaware, with this year's turkey season nearly 11% up from last season. White-tailed deer harvesting, that increased almost 30% from last season. Sussex County led the state in both categories in Delaware.
To Salisbury now, a closure heading to Benny Street has been rescheduled. The city says Benny Street between Naylor Street and Marshall Street will now be closed from May 27th to the 28th. Crews there will be installing a new sewer manhole.
And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 6:30, it's girls soccer as Polytech takes on Sussex Tech. Then catch the final score at 10:30.
As we observe Memorial Day weekend, we honor the memory of the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. This solemn occasion reminds us of the cost of freedom and the courage of those who have defended it. We salute all those who have served and fallen, whose legacy inspires us to cherish and protect the liberties they fought so valiantly to uphold. Let us remember their lives, not just in moments of silence, but through our actions that uphold the values they fought for, ensuring their sacrifices were not in vain.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Well, the leaders of 9 U.S. major airlines want Congress to take action to fix the air traffic control system. The airline CEOs wrote a letter to Congress saying, quote, serious upgrades need to happen now. The letter notes a shortage of air traffic controllers and inefficient operations are eroding safety. The CEOs did, however, praise the government's plan to upgrade air traffic control systems across the country.
Honda is pumping the brakes on electric vehicle production. The automaker says it's going to cut investments into EVs by around $20 billion over the next few years. Honda is now reviewing the timing of construction of dedicated EV plants given weaker than expected demand for those cars. It says it's going to likely not reach a 30% EV sales goal by the end of the decade.
Now here's a live look outside into Milford, and we'll have one more check on the forecast coming up after the break. The Lewes Public Art Committee has added a temporary art piece to George H.P. Smith Park. This sculpture, which you see here, its name in French means evening sky. It features brightly colored pillars made of aluminum. It's designed to show constantly changing patterns depending on where you stand.
Looks interesting. All right, what's also looking interesting, we stay cloudy right now in Laurel, courtesy of our Tyndall Casual Furniture camera, staying in the 50s with thick cloud cover. Our umbrella winner, Ryan Hart of Ocean View. Congratulations, and you're going to need that umbrella for tomorrow. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstedt, Mendalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Listen, it's going to be a somewhat soggy 65 degrees for Thursday, and we may see another round of rain hold off until we get to, let's say, after Memorial Day.
All right. right, got it. Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.